motivational speaking has become very popular these days. Nikki, have you ever watched any motivational speakers?
I do. I really like Jay Shetty.
Okay.
And of course, our guest today is another good one. We will get to know him here shortly.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of questions too. And I think it's going to be really an educational show as well. Today on my show, I have Donmik, a motivational speaker. Welcome to the show, Donmik.
Man, Brian, pleasure to be here. Good to be back.
Absolutely.
Awesome to be in your presence.
Very cool. Now, Donmik, what made you want to become a life coach, or what inspired you?
Well, I'll tell you. Everything started when my mom is Russian, my dad's Armenian, and they came to this country in 1978, okay?
Wow.
I was born in 80. I grew up in Hollywood, here in California, Hollywood, until 1984. And then my mother, myself, and my dad, we moved to Armenia. So from 1984 to 1991, we lived in Armenia during the Soviet communist years.
Oh, wow.
So when we came back in 91, man, those 2 years I was in ESL class. My English was, I was a natural-born citizen with a passport and couldn't speak a lick of English. So,
really?
So I was very frustrated, but we came over that hurdle. And from that point forward, that was the beginning of my journey. And I went to Burbank High School. I went to Northern Arizona, played football, Pasadena City College, graduated from Bowling Green State University.
People always ask me, Donmik, how is it that at tender age 42 years old, you're always so positive, always motivated, always full of energy? Well, I tell you, I attribute a lot of that to my 10-year football career from Burbank High School to Northern Arizona University to Pasadena City College and finishing the career at Bowling Green State University. Get an opportunity to play for one of the legendary college coaches, Urban Meyer, and Bowling Green State Hall of Famer quarterback I blocked for our senior year for Josh Harris. We would always say, if you can survive Urban Meyer fall camp and Coach Hillman's strength conditioning regime, you can survive anything in life. But most importantly, what football taught me is how to fight through adversity and never quit. Because at the end of the day, we always know winners never quit and quitters will never win.
Oh, wow. Well, just let me ask you this. How was it like in the communist community growing up like that?
Well, I'll tell you, I always tell this to people. I tell this to my nephews. We always go over this. Those 7 years brought the word of gratitude into my soul. It tattooed into my soul. And I always talk, growing up with my nephews, I would say, man, the thankfulness and the gratefulness of this country to be present and the things that we have.
Oh, man, I could just imagine
I
the
grew
difference.
up in the scarcity where, there's lack of electricity at times. There was times where you had to have coupons to get certain amount of food.
Really?
And at the same time, public baths was very normal. It's not like, taking a shower. I tell you, man, taking a shower a few times a week, you were in good shape. Type of deal.
Really?
There was no, in our community, and I thank my father, he was a genius that he created where we had the hot water and so on and so forth, right, in our house. But majority of people would go to the public bath. That was a normal deal. They didn't have the showers and things in their homes.
So it must have been a complete change of life.
Big time.
When you came to the U.S.
So I remember there's a funny story. So I grew up in that era where the teachers could discipline you, so that was normal. When you are in your neighborhood and the neighbors can discipline you, it was just a normal process, very family aspect in that regards. Yeah. But when it came to the transition, when we came back here, I remember I was going to junior high, 6th grade, and my mother and I were in the office, and I see a guy, he had his feet on the table. And I freaked out. He was just sitting in the office, and I was like, Mom, oh my God, what, he's about to get his behind whooped, I freaked out. And so that transition and just being in a place where the teacher can yank your ear and smack you, and I've been yanked and smacked.
Okay, so this life you grew up at, this sounds like this is what made you become a motivational speaker to help other people? Is that why?
Big time. The foundation of that, I always talk about motivation. There's a difference between motivation and inspiration,
Yes.
because everything starts, with motivation. But I always say motivation, it's like deodorant. At some point, it's going to wear off. So at some point, you put the deodorant on in the morning, you're good to go, everything is great. But there comes a point that you're going to stink again. So the transition is, how do we go from motivation to inspiration? So when you're inspired, there has to be that spark, that
Yeah,
fire. When
yeah.
you get inspired, then you are unstoppable. There's no up and down. It's just no matter how. So the transition of that takes. So once we graduate from motivation to inspiration, when you're inspired, your soul is on fire. You don't stink
That's it.
anymore. So
You just basically defined what I basically went through. I went through a situation, okay, where I lost my kidneys, hereditary disease. And when I lost my kidneys, I was done. I was ready to give up on everything, give up on life. I was at rock bottom. I had some just not the best people in my life at the time. I was on dialysis, just not liking life. But then something just sparked. And that spark was, I'm not going to give up my life. It'd be selfish. I have my family. I have Nikki. I have people in my life that love me and want me to still be here. And that was my inspiration. And I dug in and I crawled my way back up. And today people see me and don't know that I'm on dialysis, and I tell them I am, and they're like, "You can't be on dialysis." I know people that are on dialysis. They're not. You look like you're in perfect health, but it's my mindset. I chose to use my mind. My mental state of mind is keep me going and keeping that
100%.
fire going.
100%.
And that's, I think, what you're doing to people when you're doing your speaking, correct?
100%. So for me, my turning point was, I was in my late 30s and was in a home improvement business. That's what I've done over almost 15 years. And I was at the point I was like, man, something is missing. Something is missing. And it feels like, being at this stage, I got to be at a better spot. So one wise man told me a long time ago, you are where you are in life based on the things you do know and the things you don't know.
There you go.
So I said, man, there's still things that I don't know. And the key factor is, this is the transition of reaching out for help. One of the biggest things, and there's some dear, close people to my heart where pride took the better of them.
Exactly.
So taking that step, ask for help. And I did that. I always talk to her till today, Coach Jada, and she transformed my life completely. We spent 60 hours together once a week for 60 weeks in a row. I saw her once a week at her office. We would sit down. She would go over, it was the things that are in your heart. It's imaginable, indescribable, that so many people carry so much weight that they shouldn't, and that weight keeps you down.
That's it right there. Well said. Nikki, now let me ask you this. You said you listen to some inspirational speakers, correct?
Yeah, I love Mel Robbins.
Okay. Now, has any of that
Yeah.
really helped you and changed you in any way?
Actually, yeah, Mel Robbins has a theory. I don't know, Dominic, if you heard of it. It's called the let them theory.
Yes.
It's a mindset where you just let them. Someone doesn't invite you to lunch, let them. They don't call you, you let them. It literally changes your life.
And that's what and I've been watching your videos, and I tell you what, a lot of your videos are really help me out.
Amen.
I do. I really love how you speak, what you speak about, because everything I relate to.
That's the thing about motivational speakers. It has to be relatable. So that's
Yeah.
how like Mel Robbins and like Jay Shetty, they have relatable topics or relatable things that people go through on their daily basis and how to get out of that funk or that mindset.
And you,
100%.
and you got it going on, buddy. I tell you that right now. You do.
My gratitude.
I
Thank
tell you
you.
what, I'm not kidding you. I was actually down one day, and I started just going on social media. I was looking. I just popped on your thing, started listening to some of your things again. It brought me back up.
Amen.
It really did.
Amen.
I really, because I like what you speak about. You speak to the heart. You speak real.
You know, in the last 10 years in our family, we've gone through some unbelievable obstacles. And through the storm, and it feels in the recent years, the storm has settled, but how do you stay inspired when you go through some emotional pain,
Exactly.
emotional pain through family or personal life or business life? You know, and a lot of times, a lot of the, the challenges that we've gone through and the videos people see, and I tell them, I say, hey, some of those videos you see, I was at not the best spot in my life.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they would never know. You would never know.
Exactly.
So you go through that storm with that inspired mentality, and that inspiration will not wear off no matter,
You're
no matter
right.
how tough things get.
Absolutely. And everybody goes through something. I don't care who you are. Everybody goes through something in life at one point or another, And there's always the poor me thing.
100%.
But you know what? You got to stop it, man. You got to just think, just dig in and say, there is good. There is good in my life. Let's focus on that. Let's not focus on the bad, And that's what I did. It changed me 180. It changed me dramatically when I just took my mind to that from a different place, and you helped me there.
Amen. I
Seriously.
appreciate that. Thank you. And so I transitioned, I did a lot of one-on-one coaching. And I always tell these people, I said, there's not one person that I've met that I work with over a 6-month period that has gone backwards in their life.
Yeah.
Impossible. When we get on a Zoom call once a week, face to face, I'm going to light your soul on fire.
There you go, buddy.
So that
Good deal.
moves you for the next week and week after week, day by day,
Yeah.
step by step, one breath at a time, you will get to where you need to get to, and you got to
Awesome.
fight through the storm.
Now, let me get this, Don. Can people hire out one-on-one, or how they find you? How do they, see what you're doing?
So at this point, what we've transitioned to, I've gathered a great team around me, where right now we're focusing on corporate speaking gigs.
Nice.
Okay. And different events, different community events, and that aspect of it. I still do one-on-one coaching at the same time.
Okay.
But our focus now is take it to the masses. I know in the last 2 years we worked a lot on the one-on-ones, and now we're transitioning into the stage time, into the stage aspect of it. And, I was invited, my alma mater, as a guest, Bowling Green State University, where I played football. And, man, it was an amazing week. It felt like I was a 10-year NFL veteran going back to his alma mater, the way I
Nice.
was treated. And I want to make a big shout-out to Coach Leffler. Man, he's number one, and he did a great job hosting. And when I was at Bowling Green, we spoke. There's about 500 people in the room from coaching staff, the team, and so forth. And I had a 20-minute introduction, and it felt, though, from that speech, they almost won the championship at the end of the year, and they lost in the last game. I was going to go to Detroit because that was a promise. When I spoke to the team, I said, I don't know if you guys know, but when you guys go to the MAC championship, Coach Leffler is going to get me a ticket to get there. And they almost made it. How many of you have gone through that adversity moment before or going through right now? It's inevitable. I'm a tough football guy and everything's going to be great all the time at all moments. No, it doesn't work like that. So when there's adversity, you have to embrace it. You have to get excited. A lot of people, what do we do when there's adversity? You fold, quitting. How many people you know from the time you started in high school all the way till now that are not part of this group? You're here. So that was the last performance I guess we've had in front of the team.
I saw some of those clips. They're really good. Really good.
And
Yeah.
it seems it affected the team, and You know,
That's awesome,
the
man.
funny part is this though. So they lost the game that I spoke, right? And they won 5 in a row after that, and it was pending on the last game against Miami of Ohio. If they would have beat Miami of Ohio, the comments I made when I spoke would have come true. And because coach told me, he's like, man, we make it to the championship game, you're coming.
That's awesome, man. No, it was really good. I liked watching that. So doing these corporate events, stuff like that. In fact, just letting you know, you could actually hold an event here at the studio.
100%.
Absolutely. We could fill up the main room with, people coming in and do your thing. I think that's going to be awesome for you to start doing stuff like that.
So right now the team is working on booking me as far as the events going, and we got an event. I'm going to Houston on the 8th, and this is a private event. So I do a lot of, since I've been in the home improvement sales spectrum, as a sales motivator, but then we've covered so many topics in general that it's just not in the sales arena. So, when it comes to your personal life, when it comes to business life, family life aspects. So not only do we teach, I've done quite a few trainings with sales organizations.
Oh, really?
And helping those teams obviously move to the point where they become more profitable, they become more, I would say, effective.
Yeah.
I would say my call is, what is it that I do is I help organizations capitalize on their workforce through inspiration and self-discipline.
Gotcha.
So there's two things I always talk about. You can be motivated and disciplined, but that's not good enough. You have to be inspired and self-disciplined. Because when you're disciplined, what happens, and a lot of people, they have 9-to-5s, or there's some type of a boss, there's some type of authority and so forth, the things you do, the chores you do. I always say, what do you do when the lights are off? What do you do when the camera's not on you? What are the videos that you watch? What are the books that you read? What is the audio that you listen to? And this is how you build yourself. So a lot of times, and I was, part of this process in my early days, where you get caught up and all you realize, you're like, oh my God, what am I reading? What am I listening to? All the influence, susceptibility. One key factor I've learned from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book is, it's a chapter 16, is susceptibility to negative influence. Can you build that wall? How soon can you create that wall that even if the negative word or a negative energy comes your way, it ricochets off you? Even if you invite them, it cannot come inside.
There you go. That's awesome, man. That's very, very good. Very, very good. Let me ask you this. Okay, so I know you do motivational speaking, inspiration, stuff like that. Do you ever help people out with if they have any kind of mental situations or anything like that? They have mental problems or anything?
There's a lady I worked with, divorced with 2 kids, and she was very down. And she hired me on the sole purpose. All I did, I listened to her. I listened to her every week. We worked about 6 months together. And, it was just so awesome to see the person to where they were 6 months ago and the trauma they've gone through. And just for me to get on for 45 minutes and, what would I say? Just listen and inspire based on what you should focus on and the things you do, and just having that conversation enlightens the person.
Exactly. See, I would think that, and Nikki, you talked about psychologists or therapists and things like that sometimes they just want to throw somebody on a pill instead of really talking to them, right, Nikki?
Right. They don't want to get to know you. They have to get to know the person before they prescribe medication.
Yeah. See, and I think something like this, something like hooking up with like Donmik here, could be a very big help for somebody who's going through something mentally. Don't you?
Absolutely.
100%. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've gone through it. So every single video, we have, I don't know, a little over 200 posts so far in this last couple of years. I always tell this to people. I said, every single word that comes out of my soul, I eat, breathe, sleep it.
Nice.
I practice it. I go, how many times I missed the gym this year? I don't know, maybe 15 days total. Daily habit. So if I'm going to, what transpired, especially in the last 2 years, no one has inspired me the way I've inspired myself. Nobody watches my videos like I watch my videos. I'm telling you, there's times where if I'm in a funk, and a lot of times people ask me like, Donmik, do you ever get in a bad mood? Absolutely. All the time. There's always things happen. But the key factor is, I always say there's a 7.6 rule. So if you're in a funk, you gather all that in an atomic matter, and that 7.6 minutes later, just let it go.
Yeah.
But you can be pissed off, you can be wild, scream, and I'm a very emotional human being. So if I'm pissed off and just you feel right now, you feel it. So I let it go, but that 7.6 rule, after that, let's get back to business.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. Don't harbor it.
100%.
Sure.
And that's the issue that I've seen, that a lot of times you hold things in and you don't express it.
Yeah.
I call it the 48-hour rule. Within 48, if I have any issues, any type of negative feel or any type of energy towards someone at any point, within 48 hours, it will be expressed. Mm-hmm. And it took a long time to get there, because sometimes you hold on for a week, a month, a year. And that itself, it's the self-deterioration that anyone can ever have, is holding that. So when people ask me, I say, man, there's 8 billion people on this planet. There's not one human soul I have a negative effect towards. 0. But there was times where, man, they were hanging out. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. And just as time goes on, as you grow, as you blossom, as you elevate and escalate to the next step, all those, I would say, negative leeches, they dissipate and disappear.
Yeah.
And that's the key. And to help someone, because I was there, Coach Jada helped me get out of that funk. So, and a lot of times it's the pride. Pride will bury you.
Oh, yeah.
Pride will not take you. Even the higher echelon successful people, there's an accountable coach. There's someone always works with. Who motivates the motivator? Mm-hmm. Someone asked me that. Is that a special app you use? No, dummy. You inspire yourself through others. And so my excitement, what has transpired, the same way how I would listen to motivational speakers and so forth, and I get inspired, and I would contact them, or I would reach out and say, man, I saw you at this event and you just transformed, this is what I've done, and so forth. Now these things are happening to me.
Nice.
People reaching out,
Nice.
You're mentioning
Nice.
it, and it's just like that fires me up, and that's the whole purpose of this mission, this vision.
Well, I'm really impressed I never knew your backstory until now about being in a communist,
It's unbelievable.
growing up in a communist situation, moving to U.S.
I never experienced, there was no fast food. Whatever mama cooked, whatever was on the table, that's what I learned to eat.
It's almost like your upbringing is what made you decide to help people.
100%.
100%. Now look where you are. You're helping people now, and sharing your knowledge and everything, and it's great. It really is.
I am so humbled when I speak to people and we spend time together, and they tell me, mentions like, man, I feel your energy. I feel that fire.
That's it right there.
I love it.
I would recommend anybody to seriously go. You got Instagram. Where can they find you?
So Instagram's number one.
Instagram. Go find what is your Instagram handle?
It's DONMIK Donmik _
Okay.
Mkhitarian, Mkhitarian.
I'm going to
Donmik.
leave the link in the description box. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so everyone can find you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would encourage people to go on there and start watching some of his videos. I tell you, it does make a difference.
Amen.
It
Amen.
really does. There's no question about it.
I'm telling you, no one has watched the videos like I have watched my own videos.
There you go. Good deal. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, do you just have Instagram? Do you have a website or what else? Anything else?
The website, right now, it's in the making.
Okay.
The team is working on
Okay.
that. And the website is going to be donmikinspires.com.
Okay.
So we already got the domain. Everything is set. The team is working on behind the
Perfect.
scenes on that end. And very soon that will be launched. But a lot of the correspondence, all the things that get booked through and things that have happened so far is through Instagram.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's
So everybody messages, you know.
Yeah.
I have a great team. You know, when I stepped into this field, my goal was just to focus on content and focus on what part of the states or country we're going to be and the stage we're going to be on as far as giving a talk, and have nothing to do with the technical, the administration. All I want to do from the time I open my eyes until I go to sleep is work on content, working on speeches, working on information and documentation to take it to the next step and help either organizations, help the one-on-ones that I
That's
work
awesome.
with. And that's what fires me up.
Yeah.
That's what fires me up.
That's awesome, dude. Got a question. This is just a kind of off the beaten path here. It's just curiosity. Okay, so you were in a communist environment. Were you allowed to own a firearm in a communist environment?
At that time, no, there was no, I didn't see, there's no firearms, man. At that, when we lived in that era, it was just, everything is equal. There was no people with homes and, there was not the very wealthy, the middle, it just felt, the way I felt, it felt just middle class from head to toe, all the way through as far as community.
Gotcha.
There was no super, we took all, if you had a car, that was a huge deal.
Really?
And people had public transportation. And
did
so
you ever
forth.
feel like the government unsafe with the government? That you're not allowed to own a firearm, and they did, and did it feel something weird like that? Or
Very
no?
weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
100%. And then coming, obviously to the States and having understand the amendments and the rights, and it's a complete different era. Today is different. Today you go to Armenia, it feels like you're in U.S. somewhere and so on and so forth. So all those things have changed. The government has changed.
Yeah.
But definitely a big transition.
So you're a big supporter of the Second Amendment then?
100%.
Very
well, 100%. Myself, my brother-in-law, we're very big on that, and
Nice.
we are armed and ready.
There you go. That's it, man. And have you had any kind of gun safety training classes or anything like that before? Have you done that before?
We haven't done it. I've gone. No, I haven't done the safety. I know last time we spoke, we were gonna, set that up.
Yeah,
so,
we'll get that
So
going.
I want to definitely experience
Absolutely.
that process 100%. 100%.
100% we'll do that. Yeah. Well, good. Again, I'm very, very, proud of what you've done, because you just really came from definitely different environment to where you are today, and you did it, and your
Amen.
success,
Amen.
and you're helping people.
100%.
It's just like our project here. When I built this project, Open Arms, from the show to the podcast, it was to help people, and maybe not in your way, but in my way. People that are wanting to buy a firearm and to help them be safe and not have careless accidents. And you're helping people with their daily troubles.
I call myself a mental gymnast.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way, because it's all mental. Everything, funny story. Just last couple of months, man, I don't know where I had this ankle injury take place, right? And it got to a point and I did an MRI, and rehabbed it. Thank God, we're moving forward. But there was few times that pain put me in tears.
Really?
That's how deep that pain was. And when I was in tears, and I'm asking myself, I'm like, well, so what do you do at this point? You know what I mean? How do you motivate or inspire? Like, why am I? It's so deep, but you take yourself out of it, because I always tell this to people, no matter how bad things get, from losing a family member, losing a body part, injury, no matter how horrible, and you've experienced that.
Yes.
No matter how bad things get, you got to remember there's always golden nuggets in the field of chaos.
Yeah.
The difference between the strong person, the difference between you and I, will be how deep are you willing to dig in that chaotic moment to find that nugget. And most people will not fight through that process to find the nugget.
There you
But I
go.
promise you, in the last decade, from personal relationships to family trauma to business situations, no matter how bad it got at the moment, I always found the golden nuggets.
There you go.
And there's always nuggets to
Donmik,
find.
I do that 3 days a week. When I get hooked up to the machine for dialysis, I am as down as I can get. And it's painful. Okay?
Wow.
But when they hook me up, I put my mind into another dimension. I think about those golden nuggets. I think about that.
I always think about
and it gets me through. If I didn't do that,
100%.
I would have anxiety. I want to rip the thing out of my arm. I just want to get out of there. But I have to put my mindset into something good.
Yes,
You
sir.
have to.
You
Or
have
I'll
to.
never get through that.
You have
It's
to.
it is. I can't even explain to you what it's
And
like.
those nuggets, this is what I've learned, is those nuggets, again, it might not happen at that day. It
Yes.
might not happen a week from now. It might not happen a month from now, a year from now. But I promise you, every single one of those traumatic experiences, the nuggets were always identified at some point.
There you
and
go.
They come to life, and you're like, oh, man, I see what I got, what came to me in that chaotic experience.
Exactly. Right, Nikki? Now, isn't that some inspirational stuff right there?
Of course, yeah. You have
That's-
it's a mind, like you said. It's a gymnastics for the mind. Your mind's a muscle. You have to exercise it. You have to keep doing that every day, and then it becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, again, we all have our problems,
100%.
but we just got to
100%.
focus on that.
And I
good.
always tell people, I say, listen, at the end of the day, it's about maxing out. So when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, when you look yourself in the mirror, can you say you maxed out? When you say you maxed out, that's when you know you maxed out and you go to sleep. But that's the fight. That's
Yeah.
the challenge where, you might not be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, did you max out today? It's tough to say yes. But when you max out, you look, did you max out? Absolutely. If it was one of my last relationships, I said, I max. When I look, I'm so proud of myself that when I look at myself in the mirror, I've done everything in my power to be that person. And if you believe there's something greater on the other side, God bless you. We know who we are. We know what we stand for. We know what we bring to the table. And when you have that feeling within, then nothing matters.
That's
Period.
awesome.
And nobody, and this is another thing I always say, no one knows you like you know you. No one loves you like you love you. No one understands and the details of cares for you like you care for you. I had a conversation with my mom. If there's anybody on planet Earth who loves me beyond belief, it's my mama. So we had a conversation, and I told her, I said, Mom, I don't know if you're going to like this or not, but I love me more than anyone on this planet. And she got pissed off.
That's funny.
Because that's where it comes in.
Yeah.
Nobody, when you have that center strength, no one knows you like you know you. No one cares for you like you care for you. No one loves you like you love you. Once you're in that state, everything is flow.
There you
100%.
go.
And it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, but You know, it's the way you grow as a human being, I always say, is the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, and the things that you read. So that's how you grow. That's how I grew.
Yeah.
So you got to be very self-conscious of those three elements on daily basis. So what is it that's penetrating your mind? Susceptibility to negative influence. Are you able to create that block where even if you want to invite the negativity says, man, I can't deal with you.
You know, talking to you, watching videos, I'm always feeling so much better about myself. So here's the deal. You're going to follow me around from now on, just be my shadow. And anytime I need some help, I'm just going to turn it out.
100%.
There you go.
All right, Donmik, we're going to light your soul, baby.
There you go. There you go. Well, again, guys, I do encourage you to go look up his Instagram, watch his videos, follow him. It's good stuff. And if he has any events going on, try to attend them. It'd be fantastic. We'll try to coordinate something here at the studio.
For sure.
Have an event
I
here.
Definitely appreciate that. I'm ready. This is what I do from morning to night. My soul.
Go.
This is our calling. You know,
Beautiful.
This is what they say.
Awesome. Well, I really do appreciate you coming on the show and sharing everything about you. I learned a lot more about you today, especially. And Nikki, do you have anything else to ask Donmik here?
Ask me, Nikki. Ask me.
Just keep up what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Nikki,
And again, I'm going to leave out all the links below so people can find you and enjoy your videos.
Yeah.
Nikki, awesome to see
Yes,
you.
you too.
Thank you.
To come by more often.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
The door, the highway is open.
There you go. Well, again, Donmik, thank you again for coming on. I really enjoyed it. We'll keep having it coming back to share more experiences, you know?
Amen. Thank you so much.
And if we put an event here, we'll advertise
100%.
it and get a bunch of people in there. I think it's well worth it, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it does
Every time we do an event, you know, I see me and my team that we always get the responses and so forth, and things change. You know, you believe in it. I'm telling you,
It works.
It works. You got to believe
100%.
in it, and it all starts within. Again,
Yeah.
nobody believes in you like you believe in you.
Beautiful.
Where it all starts from.
Thank you, buddy.
Amen.
Again,
thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate everything.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Again, try to check out Donmik's Instagram. Nikki will have that posted in the description. And Nikki, where can they find us?
Oh, well, you can find Open Arms on Instagram at openarms.tv, and we are also on TikTok. And again, all the links for our show and Donmik will be in the description box below.
Beautiful. Thank you once again, Donmik.
Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to more and more future events.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's our show for today, everybody. And always remember,
Safety, family, and the Second Amendment.
Have a good day.